Hey guys, I'm in the garage, back in the garage working on the 64 Impala project. I finally got this side an epoxy primer. Got it all primered up here. And I tried this quarter panel on earlier and it fit pretty good. It actually fit better than the other side. I'm kind of glad. I like the way this side is going together. It's not giving me as much problem as the other side has, but hopefully this one will fit. I mean, it's fitting real good and looks like I'm not gonna have too much problem with it. There's still little adjusting to do here and there, but I like the way it's fitting. Got all that done there. Of course, I already scratched it up trying to fit that quarter on there, but anyway, it's got some kind of type of protection in there anyway, for maybe it won't rust out as quick. I had a question. I still got to do all my seam sealing up here and on the down through here, like I did on the other side. But I was wondering if I should seam seal. I don't know if you can see in here. Probably can't see it. Anyway, there's a seam here. Guess you can see it here where the spot welds are. Up in here, I was wondering if I should seam seal that area. See if I can pick it up. Nope. Anyway, that seam that goes in here, it's in here. I wonder if I should put sealer in that there. I guess it wouldn't hurt. I don't see what would help, but let's see if I can pick it up here. Oh, no. Anyway, just a question if anybody can give me their opinion on that. Like I said, I got a seam seal here, seam seal all this, back around. And my next deal is I'm getting the quarter ready to put in, and then I'm gonna set the trunk and line everything up. You can see on my quarter panel here, I got all my holes drilled, cleaned up for spot welds. Sanded this down with 80. I'm gonna go over it again. And of course, before I put this on, I'm going to go ahead and epoxy primer the inside of this quarter panel. And then what I did on that one, that other one on the right hand side, I went ahead and epoxied it, and then I bought this rubberized coating, and I sprayed it on top of the epoxy. And I don't know if that's right or not. I just didn't do any research on it. I just felt to give it a better protection. Spray the epoxy first and then let it dry, set a couple of days, and then I spray canned some rubberized undercoating, and that's what it turned out like here on this. Gave it a dull finish, but I figured it'd give it a little bit more protection from rusting out and stuff. And I got to get all my braces cleaned up there, sandblast those, or either wire wheel them and get those braces mounted back on the trunk shelf. But anyway, what I was explaining earlier, once I get my quarter panel here on, screwed down, I want to set that trunk so I can start lining up the trunk with these with the quarters and those railings that go on the trunk to meet down here to this tail panel and the tail light and all that. But I do want to get the trunk setting on there just to line it up and make sure I'm not too low, too high on these quarters, and try to get them lined up where I won't have too much trouble. I'd hate to weld everything together and then put that trunk on and then it don't fit, looks funny or whatever. Anyway, it's been kind of had a rainy weekend. Today is Wednesday. It's right at probably 7 o'clock in the evening. Over the weekend it kind of mist and rained and had some really nice weather that we really don't get very much rain around here. So it was pretty nice and cool, and I think this weekend we're expecting some more. But the weekend before last weekend, it was so hot in here. We were getting in the hundreds outside, and as you can see, I went and bought some insulation board and put it on this garage door. This is a non-insulated door, and I'd come in here in the evening and it was over 100 degrees in here, and I took my laser temperature I have, and I shot that, and it was like 130 on that metal. So that heat transfers into here, and so I looked up on YouTube for insulation, and I come up with this. Well, I didn't come up with the solution. A guy on there had done bought this R panel board, and pretty much works. All I did was, cut it to fit in there and taped it with this foil tape that I have had for a long time. But they sell kits for that. I think Owens Corning sells insulation that you can put on there, and it clips with some type of pins or something that you glue to the door, and then it clips onto that insulation. But I bought this, I think it's $10 for a sheet, 4x8 sheet. I bought 4 of them, and I cut it up in there, and believe me, it does help. It keeps from that heat when the evening or during the day is that heat, sun rises, it heats up that door, and I probably got the temperature maybe 5 degrees lower or so. I mean, the door, when I shot it on that with the temperature on the door, it was reading about 90, 89, 90 compared to 120, 125, 130. But anyway, it still gets hot in here. If it gets 100 degrees outside, it's about 90 in here. So need to finish my walls, insulation and stuff, and maybe put an air conditioner in here when I'm working, but that's not a necessity, I guess. I usually just open that door a little and put a fan or something in here. But I think the temperature is going to start going down. Like I said, this weekend is supposed to have some cool weather and a little bit of rain again, so that'll be nice when you're out here working. Don't sweat as much. But yeah, I had been meaning to do this. I had seen that on YouTube on that door here. I'd seen where people stick some type of foil. It's like a 1/4 inch thick foil, and line it with that, and that helps keep some of the heat out. But that foil is a little bit more expensive, so I just bought this. This is a 1/2 inch thick of insulation board that you put on the exterior of the house when you're building a new construction house, when you're doing new construction. But anyway, that helps keep some of the heat out during the day when getting to the hotter part of the day. That the garage door would get so hot it radiates the heat in here, and so I've been trying to do that. And I think it was last winter I put the insulation on the ceiling and sheetrock the ceiling. It used to be open, just had the ceiling joist up there, and it would get about 120 in here during the summer. You know, it would get hot when it hit 100 degrees. It was like 120, 125 in here. So little by little, I've been trying to get to where the heat stays out in the summer and warm stays in the winter in here. I did that heater, mounted that heater last winter, and that helps too when it gets, you know, freezing outside. I'm in here and turn that heater on, it gets the heat up pretty good. Probably ought to put another one over there in the corner, but for this one here, that'll do the job while I'm here. It doesn't really get too cold out this part. We do have some below freezing weather, but nothing below zero or nothing like that. We have a couple of days it gets below in the 20s or something like that, and it'll get back up there. But last winter we did have some freezing. We had quite a bit of ice. Anyway, I just thought I'd make a little short, quick video. I'm starting to ramble. I get going like that, I start to ramble about other stuff. But that's where I'm at on the 64 Impala project. Like I said, I'd really like to get most of the sheet metal done by the start of the winter. I mean, I only got a couple, well, end of this month and maybe October before it starts getting kind of cooler. So I like to get all this completed on the trunk area, quarter panel mounted, and strip the doors down, and then start working my way up front. Of course, with this starts to get too cold in this shop, you can't really do any primering with this epoxy that I use. It says the temperature's got to stay 65 or above for 24 hours when you spray. So anyway, that's where I'm at, and thanks for watching. I'll try to upload this video tonight, and again, thanks for watching.